In this video, we will go over why Steve Jobs is not Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym of the mysterious person or group who invented Bitcoin, the world's first and largest cryptocurrency. Since the publication of the Bitcoin white paper in 2008, many people have tried to uncover the true identity of Satoshi, but none have succeeded. Some have even speculated that Satoshi was none other than Steve Jobs, the late co-founder and visionary of Apple. However, this theory is very implausible and unsupported by any evidence. Here are some reasons why Steve Jobs is most likely not Satoshi Nakamoto. Point 1 of the main arguments against Steve Jobs being Satoshi Nakamoto is the timeline of events. Satoshi was active on online forums and email lists from 2008 to 2010, when he announced that he had moved on to other things. During this period, he communicated with other developers and users of Bitcoin and released several versions of the Bitcoin software. He also mined the first Bitcoins and accumulated a large amount of them in his wallets. Steve Jobs, on the other hand, was busy leading Apple and launching some of its most iconic products, such as the iPhone, the iPad, and the MacBook Air. He was also battling pancreatic cancer, which eventually led to his death in October 2011. It is hard to imagine that he had the time, energy, or interest to create and maintain a revolutionary cryptocurrency project while running one of the most successful companies in the world and fighting a terminal illness. Another argument against Steve Jobs being Satoshi Nakamoto is the programming skills required to create Bitcoin. Bitcoin is based on complex cryptography, mathematics, and computer science concepts such as digital signatures, hash functions, peer-to-peer networks, and proof of work. The source code of Bitcoin is written in C++, a low-level programming language that requires a high level of expertise and attention to detail. Steve Jobs, while undoubtedly a genius and a visionary in the tech industry, was not an expert programmer. According to his co-founder and friend Steve Wozniak, Jobs didn't know technology and didn't know how to design anything as far as engineering goes. Jobs was more focused on the design, marketing, and user experience aspects of Apple's products, rather than the technical details. He relied on other engineers and programmers to execute his vision and ideas. Therefore, it is unlikely that he had the skills or knowledge to create Bitcoin from scratch. A third argument against Steve Jobs being Satoshi Nakamoto is the philosophy behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin is designed to be a decentralized, peer-to-peer, open-source system that does not rely on any central authority or intermediary. It is meant to empower individuals and enable censorship-resistant transactions across borders. It is also based on anonymity and pseudonymity, as users do not need to reveal their real identities or personal information to use Bitcoin. Steve Jobs, however, had a very different philosophy when it came to Apple. He was known for being a control freak and a perfectionist who wanted to have complete oversight over every aspect of Apple's products and services. He also valued secrecy and privacy over transparency and openness. He did not like to share Apple's source code or intellectual property with anyone outside the company. He also preferred to keep his personal life and health issues away from the public eye. Moreover, he was not a fan of cryptocurrencies or digital payments in general. He once said that nobody wants a digital wallet and that the problem with innovation in payments is that it's very hard to get people to adopt new forms of payments. A recent discovery that has fueled some speculation about Steve Jobs being Satoshi Nakamoto is the presence of a copy of the Bitcoin white paper hidden in macOS's system folder. The file was found by technologist Andy Baio in April 2023, who said that it has been included in every copy of macOS since Mojave in 2018. The file is located in an app called virtualscanner.app, which is related to the continuity camera feature that allows users to scan documents with their iPhones or iPads. However, this discovery does not prove anything about Steve Jobs' involvement with Bitcoin. First of all, Steve Jobs died in 2011, 7 years before Mojave was released. Therefore, he could not have been responsible for adding the file to macOS. Second of all, Baio said that he was told by the little bird that the file was added by the same engineer who put the PDF there in the first place. This suggests that the file was not a deliberate Easter egg or a hidden message from Jobs, but rather a test document or a placeholder that was forgotten or overlooked by the developer. Third of all, the file is not unique to macOS. It is the same file that can be found online on various websites and repositories. It is not a modified or customized version that would indicate any special connection or affiliation between Jobs and Bitcoin. There is no evidence or reason to believe that Steve Jobs was Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. The timeline of events, the programming skills required, the philosophy behind Bitcoin, and the hidden white paper all contradict with what we know about Steve Jobs and his role at Apple. Therefore, it is safe to say that Steve Jobs is not Satoshi Nakamoto. There have been many theories and speculations about the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, but none have been confirmed or verified. It is more likely that Satoshi Nakamoto was really two people: Hal Finney, a computer scientist and cypherpunk who received the first Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi, and Dorian Nakamoto, a Japanese-American engineer who lived near Finney, one of the first Bitcoin users and developers. Finney died in 2014 after suffering from ALS and was cryopreserved by Alcor Life Extension Foundation. Nakamoto has denied any involvement in the creation of Bitcoin. He received over 100 Bitcoins from the Bitcoin community as a gesture of gratitude. There are a lot of other theories of who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but we can all agree it was not Steve Jobs.